Sometimes you hear these ancient stories and wonder, how can they still be so relevant today? Well, today we're diving deep into the story behind Rama Ekadashi, a sacred day of fasting. It's an amazing tale about a prince, a princess, and a choice that really gets to the heart of what matters more, following the rules or true devotion. Let's get right into it.
Okay, so the first thing you've got to know is who's telling this story. This isn't just some old folktale. The whole thing is being told by Lord Krishna himself. And that really sets the stage, right? This is a divine lesson given to answer one very, very important question.
And that important question? Well, it comes from a great king.
This is it. This is the question King Yudhishthira asks Lord Krishna. It's super specific, and it's the very question that kicks this whole incredible story into motion.
And so, Krishna begins the tale. It's about a man named Prince Shobhana, and he is about to face a test that is pretty much impossible.
So, the timing is just awful for Prince Shobhana. He shows up in his father-in-law's kingdom right on the eve of Rama Ekadashi. And you have to understand, in this kingdom, the fast is, it is absolute. Nobody eats or drinks, not the people, not the servants. They don't even give grain or water to the animals. It is an unbreakable spiritual law.
And boom, here's the central conflict. The prince is just not physically strong enough. He knows, deep down, he probably can't survive a full day with no food or water. So all of a sudden, his own body is on a collision course with the unshakable law of the land.
His wife, Chandrabhaga, she lays out his options, and man, there is no easy way out. She tells him, look, if you eat, you have to leave the kingdom right now. But if you fast, you could actually die. What would you even do in that situation?
He makes his choice. He decides to go through with the fast. But, and this is a really important detail, the story says he just resigns himself to his fate. This isn't a decision coming from some deep well of faith. It's more like a reluctant, okay, I guess this is what's happening. And that detail, it changes everything.
So he makes his fateful choice. But the consequences, they are immediate. And then they get supernatural. This is what can happen when a spiritual ritual is done without any real belief behind it.
Just as he feared, his body just couldn't handle the strain. He's overcome by hunger and thirst, and as the sun comes up the next day, Prince Shobhana passes away. A really tragic end to his vow.
Or was it? Because this is where the story takes this wild, supernatural turn. For Prince Shobhana, death wasn't the end. Nope. It was just the beginning of a whole new kind of problem.
To really get what happens next, we need to quickly talk about this concept, punya. You can think of it like spiritual credit or a merit that you earn by doing good and pious things. In this story, it's basically the currency of the spiritual world.
And here is that punya in action. So check this out. Even though his heart wasn't really in it, the act of fasting was so powerful that it earned him just enough merit for this incredible reward in the afterlife, a whole divine kingdom of his own. And it's there that a traveling Brahmin from his old kingdom stumbles upon him, just completely shocked to see him.
But here's the catch. Shobhana reveals the huge flaw in his own paradise. This amazing kingdom, he says, it's unstable. It's only temporary. And the reason why is so critical. The punya that built it all came from a ritual he did without any real faith. The foundation is just totally weak.
So if Shobhana's faithless act created this shaky, unstable paradise, what could possibly make it permanent? Well, the answer isn't with him. It's with his wife, Chandrabhaga, who is, let's be honest, the real hero of this story.
And the difference between them? It is like night and day. Shobhana did one reluctant fast. Chandrabhaga, on the other hand, had spent her entire life in pure, heartfelt devotion. Her spiritual foundation wasn't weak at all. It was rock solid.
And get this wasn't something she started doing recently. The story makes a point to tell us that she had been observing every single fast with perfect devotion since she was just 8 years old. Can you imagine the punya she must have built up over all those years?
So when that Brahmin gets back and tells Chandrabhaga that her husband is alive, but his paradise is flawed, she knows exactly what needs to be done. And this leads to the climax of the story, this incredible act of spiritual generosity.
So Chandrabhaga sets out on this journey, and on the way, her immense punya is so powerful that a great sage actually recognizes it, sanctifies her with holy water, and her body becomes divine. When she finally reaches Shobhana, she explains that she can use the vast spiritual merit she's earned since she was a little girl to make his kingdom strong. She willingly offers to transfer her own punya to him.
And with that one single, selfless act of love, her deep devotion makes his unstable paradise permanent and real. Her faith did what his empty ritual never could, and finally, they were reunited.
So after telling this whole incredible story, Lord Krishna brings it all back home, finally answering King Yudhishthira's original question, what does it all mean?
The big takeaway is that observing this fast with true faith, the way Chandrabhaga did, not the way Shobhana did, that's what really counts. When it's done with real devotion, it's said to remove sins and sorrows and fulfill all your wishes. And kind of fittingly, acts of charity, especially giving food, are seen as incredibly powerful on this day.
Now, for anyone who does observe it, the scriptures lay out a few different levels. The absolute highest form is called nirjala, which means without any water at all. If that's not possible, you can have water. And if that's still too tough, fruits and milk are allowed. The whole idea is to do what you can, but with a sincere heart.
And that really brings us to the heart of it all, doesn't it? The story of Shobhana and Chandrabhaga isn't just about a fast. It's this profound look at our intentions versus our actions. It leaves us with a question that goes way beyond this one day. What really is the true difference between just performing a ritual and actually living a life of genuine devotion?